Hey, what's up, guys? Brian Savage here with you, and Obadiah. And this is going to be part 2 on Gitano. Just did this one up. I cleaned the fretboard, the whole guitar, cleaned it really well, conditioned the rosewood, and had to do quite a bit of work on the truss rod. The truss rod was just loose in there. It wasn't doing anything. It had quite a bit of bow, of course, and it had electric strings on it. We now have acoustic strings on it, light gauge, 11 to 48, I think is what it was. Super light, but anyway, as you can see, we got the bow out. It has the right amount of relief, and by doing that, I also got a lot of this body hump out as well. And little trick how I did that is I got a humidifier that I run. I stick it in the closet with the little humidifier and do that with it, as well as I take a real hot shower and I stick it in the bathroom with me, not in the shower, but in the bathroom with me, and then leave it in there. And that really helped. And I did that after I cleaned it. It had quite a bit of a hump. Remember, I stuck the paper under it, and the paper would go all the way under it, almost all the way to the pins that go to the screws here on the bridge and go up all the way to the pins. Well, it don't do that now. I don't have a piece of paper out, or I'll show you. Also fixed this. Took that out. Took a small dowel. Glued it in. Cut the dowel off. Shaved it smooth. Put the screw back in it. Fixed that. It's good and tight now. I have not plugged it in. I'll have to put a battery in to plug it in. I haven't done that with it yet. But I have restrung it. It plays fairly well. Sounds pretty good. Got pretty good projection. But the only issue I have with it now is it has I believe, a low fret. And I don't have, in the middle of transitioning all my stuff for working on guitars. I'm transitioning it all over to the garage. And in the process, all my tools are boxed up out there, and I don't have a fret rocker. But I believe from what I can tell is this fret is low. It could be this one's high, but I believe it's this one's low. Hear that? Hear that? So either I've got a high one right here or a really low one right here, and I think that's actually the culprit. But without the fret rocker, I can't tell. I don't have my crowning files and all that stuff readily available. And I want to get this back to him. So he just uses this for something to play at the house anyway. So not really too worried about it. But we did get it playing 110% better. We filled in the crack that it had along the heel. Had a little crack here. We filled that in. And how I did that was I took a little CV glue with a syringe, a real small needle, and squirted it down in there, and it sunk down in there, and then did that until it quit sinking down in there. And then I took some clear lacquer and just put a little clear lacquer over it to blend it all in. And you can still see it looks like a crack, but it's all filled. It's all filled. Excuse me. And that's pretty much it. Oh, another thing. It wasn't keeping tune very well. It wasn't wanting to stay in tune. And part of the reason is every one of those screws on the back of the neck on the tuners, every one of them were loose. Every nut on top of the tuner and the tuner bushing and every screw, and this one not so much, but every screw that held on the tuner buttons, they were loose. So I tightened down the screws, tightened down the nuts, and tightened down the tuner button screws, and well, she holds a whole lot better tune now, obviously. So that was the culprit there. Those were as snug as they were going, and I dared not over tighten them. It doesn't have any kind of block underneath of it, so this is, I'm sure, let me get out of Obi's way here. I'm sure that's something to do with the pickup system on it. And anyway, so that's it, guys. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments section. If you know anything about this particular guitar or the model, again, it's Gitano, G-I-T-A-N-O, model SCOBS space MW. It's got a real nice laminate flame maple top. Looks to be either rosewood or mahogany. Let's go with mahogany, we'll say, if I'm going to guess. Back and sides, it's got like a 7-ply binding on top, single ply around the rest of it, single ply binding on the neck, and then back up to the 7-ply with a side little black line. You probably won't make it out, but it goes from cream to black than the wood. On the headstock binding, nice rosette on the back, 2-piece back. All in all, pretty guitar, and plays pretty well now. Little out of tune, new string stretching. Anyway, guys, shred music, sure to love. Peace out.